G'day champions, welcome to another Aussie Tool Reviews. Before we get into it, I need to address one fact. This workshop is in shambles. We're what feels like minutes away from Christmas. I've gone in a completely different direction with my making, and this workshop is just nuts. I've gotten rid of my miter saw station over here and put in a shelving unit. I've added my 3D printer, and today we're here to unbox this beast. This is the Ortur, not 100% sure how you say it, but they're H20. It's a big laser, and I am excited to get this opened up and get using it. Now, I got rid of the miter saw and installed this shelving unit with these two items in mind. And in order to get my workshop back into an operational form, I need to unbox this machine so that I can see how much space I've got left on these shelves and what can go back there and what can't. I've cleared the workbench, so let's move this over there, get it open, and see what we're in store for. And before we get into the nitty-gritty of this, the team over at Ortur did send me out this machine free of charge. They even offered me compensation for this video. But I declined the compensation because Aussie Tool Reviews will not be bought. I've said that before and I will say it again. I am more than happy for companies to send me out their products for me to try out, make videos on, in order to let you guys know if they are good or bad. But I need the freedom to be able to say if they're good or bad. And if you're taking a bit of cash in the pocket from the company that's giving you the tools and asking you to say things about their tools, chances are that cash means you can't say anything bad. Not that I plan on saying anything bad, I just want to be able to relay the truth over to you guys. Long story short, laser here for free, no payment taken. Just to keep it transparent. Let's open it up. Looks like we're dealing with the box inside a box situation again. Except this time it looks like maybe multiple boxes inside of a box. We got one more. So we have the base stand, the laser engraver, the top guard. Something tells me we should probably start with the base stand. That feels very nice. It's a lovely sort of grey blue metal color, complete aluminium frame. From what I can see, it looks like it's housing some belts and some motors, so everything should be fully enclosed with this laser. Now, because I hadn't unboxed this laser, I had a very big fear that it would not fit on this shelving unit. So I just went out on a limb and bought this, hoping things would pan out, and I think it did pan out. Always make sure you go through these foam inserts before you throw them away. There's some hidden screws there. Because we're shooting a YouTube video, we should probably make it look like we keep these instructions, shouldn't we? We're definitely going to be reading these. Box one complete. Now, for the main event, the laser engraver. So we've got some information here about the different types of materials that we can engrave with this machine, what laser head we should be using, because there are a number of different laser heads that you can use on this machine. Just a little bit of light reading. Another instruction manual. This one is a lot nicer quality. It's like a hard paperback book. This one feels more important than the last one. Oh. Do they suit me? Certainly make it weird in here. Very orange. I assume that's because the laser's purple and the orange cancels out the purple, maybe? Bunch of laser specific tooling. Very important power pack. No idea what these are. This is one of two laser heads that they sent me out. This is the 20-watt laser. This is all a very nice color and feels very, very solid. And that right there is our laser bed. I can only assume that this bed maybe drops out and attaches underneath somehow. Not sure. We'll have to read the instructions on this one, I think. Well, that's a little disappointing. How am I meant to do a sick ASMR shot when my protective plastic is already coming off? Then I would assume that that is going to sit in there like that somehow. Last stop, box number 3. Thank you for helping us test the machine. As it is still in the pre-production phase, there may be some imperfections. If you encounter any issues, please feel free to contact us at any time. That looks like something we should probably hang on to. This feels like it eliminates the need for my orange glasses. Damn, I really thought those were going to be a fashion statement. Man, that really does look the part, doesn't it? Now, I'm not going to have full height clearance here because of this shelving, but the lid actually holds itself up on that angle, which I really like. And in here, it looks like we've got some dust extraction hose. Oh, a nice, possibly aluminium connector there. That is nice. I was fully expecting that to be plastic. And some more cables and a key. I wonder what the key's for. Let's free these from their housing. That is nice. I'm assuming that's going to screw onto the back to get rid of any fumes from the machine. Who doesn't like an expandable dust extraction hose? That is satisfying. It is also, it feels extremely well made. That feels like quality hose. Like I can give that a good squeeze and I'm not going to crush that. That is solid. Very solid. Gonna be installed. One of those screws and remove it. Just going to flip the entire machine over to give myself better access to put these screws in at the bottom. So I've got to get 4 of these in. And when you've got Sasquatch hands, this isn't an easy task. Whilst 9 times out of 10, I would 100% prefer to go for one of these screws that doesn't require a screwdriver, but has knurling around the side like a thumb screw. In this particular instance, I think I would have preferred normal Phillip head screws, just because my hands are so big and getting them down the sides of the laser to try and tighten this up is a little bit finicky for my liking. And a little bit scratchy as well. But I can tell you right now, if that's the biggest complaint that I've got, I think I'll be able to live with it. Because let's be honest, you've only got to do these screws up once and then the machine's put together. I cannot see any reason why I would need to undo these all too often at all. Very nice touch, including this really comfortable screwdriver, which I only just realized is completely reversible to an Allen key, hex drive, whatever you want to call it. But it's nice when businesses include quality tools. Usually you just get that standard right angle Allen key or hex key, not very comfortable to use. This is quite nice to use, and to be honest, I will hang on to this after the fact. It's always handy when one tool can be used as 2. I'm thinking I probably should have attached this to that laser head before putting it in the laser. I think that's in the right place. Also being told to focus the laser by dropping this focusing stick on the side. Doesn't really say where to focus it to though. I'm assuming you put your item in there and then this is a manual up and down control to set the height. It says don't forget to return that though. I'm assuming it's quite common to possibly snap those off. Look, let's just save ourselves the trauma of not being able to completely pull this off later by pulling it off now. It does hurt my feelings that I can't do that once it's in its final resting place though. Let's hope you don't get scratched between now and then. Now we've got the top cover to install and she's ready to turn on. forgot a couple of thumb screws. There's 6 in this top hatch, not just 4. This rigid airline actually just screws straight in here and it goes in really, really nicely. There does seem to be a lot of forethought in this machine. So there is a small fan built into the laser head, but if the material you're cutting needs a bit more assistance, you saw me connect that adapter there, which I need to correct myself. There were instructions in the booklet further down the track about what you need to do for that, but there's an airline pre-fitted from here that runs in this track to the back of the machine. Now there's an included length to run from the laser head to that point, and then you can source your own hose and just connect it straight to the connection already installed in the machine and run that out. The fact that this is already run nice and neat and tucked away, I think is really nice. There are even pre-installed brackets on the Y-axis for this to run in. Personally, that to me is an indication of a high quality product. Well, I think it's time to move her into a forever home, plug it in, turn it on, and see what happens. Alright, we're going to cut this here because the setup so far is shite. Multiple failed connection attempts. I did get it connected, I had to cut the power, I turned it back on, it wouldn't reconnect with my phone. There is nothing in the instructions about how to use the app at all, simply instructions on where to get the app. So far, I haven't located any direction as to how to actually do burns either. Where I should have the laser head set, what purpose the laser focusing system function plays, nada. And currently, I'm filling my camera with gigabyte after gigabyte of nothing. So, we'll pause this, I'll have a bit more play, and I'll come back to you shortly.
One eternity later.
So the burn completely stops if you open the guard. So the moral of that story is don't open it mid-burn because I can't figure out how to restart it. Yeah, that's certainly burnt. Wipe down with some alcohol though, and you can actually see it has completely removed that white layer on that melamine. You can feel that too. That has really engraved it quite well. The quality of that stock image also wasn't that flash, so I don't think this is actually a fault of the laser. I think these blurry edges are actually something to commend the laser on because that was the detail in that stock image. It's done quite a good job at making that look bad, if that makes sense. Alright, so the app, no good. It's way too hard to navigate. It disconnects far too easily. As soon as you exit the app for any reason, it disconnects from the machine. I am also having non-stop reconnection issues. It just keeps failing. I'm having a hard time actually understanding how to execute what the app says I can do. So, I don't want to pay for LightBurn yet, and I am really hoping that this laser is accessible without LightBurn. So I'm going to have a look at the other program options that are in the brochure, see what I can download on my desktop, and see if that is a better solution. It is, however, extremely disappointing because for me personally, I don't want to run a computer in my workshop. And the idea that this laser could run from an app was extremely exciting to me. But unfortunately, I just don't think the app is up to par. So we'll go and download another program if we can and see if that works.
Day 3.
So it's been a couple of days and I bit the bullet. I downloaded LightBurn. Now this is a paid program and I will pay for this with my own money. I say will because LightBurn offers a 30-day free trial that gives you access to the whole program. And to be quite honest, the cost of buying the program is not actually too bad. It's like $159 for the core license, and this runs on the core license. Plus, it allows you to log in on up to 3 different computers, which I think is awesome. So I figured I'd spend the money, learn the program, and try and get the absolute best I can out of this laser. I have actually had some successful burns, which is extremely exciting. Stay tuned and I will show you those shortly. But first, I want to try and burn stainless steel. So I'm going to upload one of my latest Nordic designs that I drew up for my merch into LightBurn and see if I can't burn it into steel. Oh, that's a bit close. Nothing left to do but to do it, so let's go and hope this doesn't mess up. That turned out awesome. I'm really happy with the results on that. Now you can't so much feel this one, so I'm not sure if it is an engraving as such, or whether it is more the color changing, just not that dramatically. So to pull this off, I had the laser at 4,000 millimeters a minute, 100% power. So what I'm thinking is, can we induce more of a color change by making that 4,000 maybe 1,000 or 500 and see what happens. Now those brochures I showed you way back at the start of this video were actually a list of what the laser can cut and what it can engrave, and 19mm pine is on the list of claims for cutting. And luckily enough, before I became a laser and 3D printing shop, I used to be a woodworking shop, and I had some lying around. I also happen to have a bunch of other stuff lying around that this thing claims it can cut, and some stuff that it says it can't. Take this leather for instance. 2mm leather, no problem. There's instructions in there about what your settings should be. 5mm leather is not listed. So we'll try the 2mm, then we'll try the 5mm, and we'll see what happens. I'm also really curious to see if it will cut other solid timbers like she oak and even resin. I assume the resin may get messy. It does not like being heated up. The she oak is an absolutely beautiful timber, so if I were to be able to cut finger joins in this, potentially put some boxes together with it, that would be awesome. And we won't know until we try it. But first, let's put another piece of stainless steel in, crank it right down in speed, but 100% in temperature, and see if we can get a color change. Still doesn't feel engraved. I mean, you can very, very slightly feel an indent there, but I would say it would be 0.01 maybe of a mil. It's so minute. Definitely a lot darker though. But this took the same amount of time as the wolf did. Certainly more visible though. I am impressed. Straight through. I did nearly a half depth cut on the first pass as well. That is impressive. And that will be handy. I didn't refocus the laser, so that was my fault. And that's why I'm assuming we got all this extra burning. So I'm going to try another one here. You know what? 2 passes and that'd go through, I reckon. We're starting to see the burning on the back. The resin, extremely hot and flexible, but that has cut through. This is certainly viable. That is a picture of my lathe while I was doing the traveling turner. And that is tiny, but look at the detail in that. That's incredible. One thing that's going to be super important with this laser is to take this head out and clean it. Look at that. That's just from the couple of tests that we've been doing. So I'd say that would be regular maintenance. Probably after every couple of sessions. All right, so let's test this out. I can now overlay a picture straight down there. Let's get the laser out of the way. All right, so we are refocused there. So let's re-overlay that image. And you can see our timber that's inside there. So what I am going to attempt to do, not sure why I can't bring PNG files in through the import. Oh, here we go. Image files. There we go, that's why. So let's bring in our logo, update overlay, and you can see there we've got an image from inside the laser, and we've got where our picture is that we brought in. So this is all in theory. I've really got no idea if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to shrink that image down and try and put that onto our piece of ply that's in there, which that looks like the correct positioning. Hello champions, I've spent hours upon hours upon hours with this machine, and I tell you what, even though it does have a couple of little quirks, I am really enjoying having this in the shop. Cutting 19mm ply is just mind-boggling for me. Being able to engrave stainless steel. I've already got a number of different ways that I'm going to incorporate this machine into my workflow. Just as I used to say, for the 10 years of my life I spent as an illusionist, reality is defined by the limits of your imagination. And I really think the H20 lives up to that. I'm sure you have got a number of ways that you would use this that I haven't even thought of yet. Now, I did mention that it had some quirks, and really, after spending some time with this machine, the only thing that does bug me a little bit is the connectivity. If I manually move the laser head or I open that door before it's finished doing what it's doing, it seems to drop connectivity from my computer. No matter what I try, it just says busy, and the only solution I've found so far is to unplug it and plug it back in, or to turn it off and turn it back on again. Then it connects up straight away and I've got no issues. Right back at the start of this video, the very first time I was using it, I was having issues using that app, but once I started using LightBurn, connectivity got better. It would be great though to not have it drop out if you interrupt an operation. However, I was able to resolve every issue I had myself. I haven't contacted Ortur's customer service at all. If you are keen on this machine, one thing I would recommend is read the manual thoroughly. There were a couple of steps in there that I missed and I had to go back and reread. Perhaps they weren't really clear enough for me to understand the first time. Once I went back through, everything seemed quite simple. Although somehow I've got this feeling deep inside that I actually mounted my bed backwards. They've got these markings where I assume your alignment pad goes when you're trying to set up the camera, and those markings don't fit within the camera. Not a big deal, I don't think, because it's just an aluminium bed, but somehow I managed to get that on backwards, so pay attention to that. One of the things I did spend the longest amount of time on was calibrating that camera, but this is only a mission you will have to face if you have the full enclosure, because that camera is mounted to the top of this orange lid. And now I opened it and the fans have kicked back on again, so it's going to be noisy. Now, go to sleep. Don't want you interrupting the videos. There we go. I have asked Ortur to send out all the attachments that come for this laser because I'm really keen to try them out. Things like a rotary attachment just take your laser game to the next level. Now they did say they were going to send that out, but unfortunately it hasn't arrived in time for this video. So if I get that, I will definitely be doing an update with that accessory, and that'll probably be down the track, so I'll be able to give you guys a better understanding then of how I've been handling this machine. Because realistically, it has only been set up for a week in my shop, and I've only really been using it for 3 days during that week. So I suppose when you think about it like that, it may actually be a very easy machine to use. I don't have much to compare it to apart from the laser pecker, and that thing just connects straight to your phone. I don't even use my computer for that. Now, as far as I'm aware, the Ortur H20 is on Kickstarter until the 20th of December. So if you are looking for a laser and you want to try this thing out, get in quick. Otherwise, I think the price is going to jump up to a recommended retail price after that. Given that this is sort of a pre-release model as well, I am certain that a lot of the quirks are going to get ironed out before the full model starts shipping. But I can honestly say with 100% certainty, even the connectivity issue is nowhere near inconvenient enough for me to give this machine a bad rep. This thing has been bloody cool to play with. And as I said, I am thrilled to have it here. Any long-time viewers of the channel will notice that it's all changed over this side of the shop, and that is to fit the laser and the 3D printer in here. We don't make changes around here that easily, unless it's exciting stuff. And let's be honest here, when you can get that much detail into a photograph that is only 50 by 65mm wide and in black and white, I am absolutely blown away with that. You can see the ocean, you can see the clouds in the sky. The lathe looks just as picturesque as the actual photo itself. Can you imagine being able to engrave people's children's faces on their wallets? Or cut out logos in leather to attach them to merchandise? Or create stainless steel signage to go on letterboxes and the front of people's houses? Cranking the power up so that it is not discreet at all? Or simply engraving designs on different bits of timber for different projects? Chopping boards, wall art, bind runes for protection around the house, you name it. So the Ortur H20, does it get the Aussie Tool Reviews J&D Creations tick of approval? It certainly does. This tool is versatile, it has a nice small footprint, it's completely enclosed, which is a big plus for me. The extraction works awesomely. It's a bit of a learning curve if you're a novice, just like me, but it's a learning curve that I'm willing to keep curving on. Because so far, this is blowing my mind. I'll leave you guys some links down below in the description if you are interested in checking out the Ortur H20. I don't have any discount codes or affiliate codes for you guys. As I said, I'm not getting paid for this review, I am just giving you my honest thoughts and opinions on it. So if you do want one, as I said, I believe they're heavily discounted until the 20th of December while they are on Kickstarter. I'm certainly enjoying mine, and I'm sure I'm going to continue to enjoy it for many years to come. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful at all, please consider hitting that like button. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel already, ring that notification bell so that I can catch you on the next video. We got some big hammers and axes to test out very soon. Stay safe and look after yourself, legends. Until next time, I will see you later.